He's
I
here.
am ready to go.
Well, you should take it good, and Eli. Why don't you tell people your band, where you're from, before you get going?
Yeah, absolutely. So my name is Eli Wrankle. I am one of the three hats of Three Hat Trio. And we are from southern Utah, which is, um, I live about an hour away, but my two bandmates live literally 10 minutes away from Zion National Park. Um, and we play what we call American desert music, which is music inspired by our landscape and the desert that we live in. Um, yeah. So today I'm the violinist in the band. We have a double bass and a banjo, and I'm gonna start by doing a little demo for you guys of my violin. I hope you guys enjoyed that. That was a little, just an improv thing that I rehearsed a little bit, but a lot of what I do, at least in the band, and what Three Hat does, is we we try to create melodies and um, interesting musical ideas within the constructs of a song. And so a lot of what we do is we will write the basics of a song essentially, and then um, we'll sit in a practice room and kind of look out on the desert where we live and just kind of play to what we see and play to what we feel, and we record everything so that we can go back and listen to what we've been playing. Um, but yeah, so I guess a little background about Three Hat. Um, it is myself, Hal Cannon, and Greg Istock, and we play American desert music, like I said before, and that's not really a genre, and that's kind of the point. We're trying to create a new genre of music with what we do. Um, and our band was formed about 6 years ago, and I am 23 right now, and Hal and Greg are both in their late 60s. So it is kind of a fun age gap there, and a lot of people often ask if they're my grandparents, when we go out and play live. But we uh, we used to live like really close together. I go to university now, so I am farther away from them. But we used to live close together. We met when I was only 16 years old, and I've been classically trained on violin since I was about 5 years old. Um, and before I met Hal and Greg, I had never done improv or um, played music not from a piece of sheet music in my life. And um, they came over one night with instruments just on a whim, and we were jamming, and um, Hal was playing, I think, a guitar, and Greg was playing piano, which is interesting because he plays bass now. But we were just jamming, and it was really, really cool, and it kind of opened up my entire world um, about music and about like what what I could do um, with the violin. And so when after we were done, I was like, let's do that again. That was really great. Um, and so yeah, and so we started practicing and started playing together, and we were like making music, and we were jamming a little bit, and stuff was working, but we didn't know what it was. We didn't know what to call it. Um, and we finally all realized after playing live a couple times and having people tell us like it sounds like your music sounds like space. Your music sounds like openness, and we're like, wow, like that must. We kind of connected it to the landscape where we live. And for anybody who wasn't here, we live in southern Utah, right next to Zion National Park. So we have the, excuse me, we have the big wide open spaces of the desert, and we have these soaring like red cliffs of Zion National Park. Um, and it's just incredible. I think I've been there. I can't even tell you how many times I've been there, but every time I drive into the park, it's just incredible. It just shocks you, and I'm sure anybody who's ever been there will tell you the same. Um, but Greg, our bass player, has a house right outside of Zion National Park, and when we practice, we literally look on the cliffs of Zion when we're writing and when we're performing or practicing. Um, and so, about a year in, finally, we decided we our music was inspired by the landscape that we've grown up in. Hal is from Salt Lake City. Greg is actually from Florida, but he's lived here for about 15 years. And I moved here when I was about 6 years old, so I've been raised here. Um, and it's just such a big part of who we are and um, how we interact with our instruments and how we interact with each other. Um, and so yeah, and so now we have, um, I believe we have 4 albums under our belt, under the American Desert Music title, and we've done 4 European tours, and um, yeah, and so yeah, I guess I will open it up to any questions right now. Otherwise, I can show you what exactly I do with my pedals and my violin and that kind of stuff to create space. So does anybody here have any questions right now? If not, that is okay. All right. Well, if
You
anybody
were
is,
you couldn't see your violin, but I presume you're playing on an acoustic violin?
I am, yes.
Okay. Do you have and is it just hooked up with a regular pickup?
Yeah, so I have a Fishman pickup. Um,
Okay.
that is just it's not permanent. It's just wedged into my bridge.
Cool.
Yeah, and then I have, um, like you saw, I have this pedal board, and I have a couple pedals. I have 3 delay pedals, um, and a reverb, and that deep tone was actually a synthesizer pedal, to create kind of like that organ sound that I have. Um, and then the harmonies also come out of that big pedal as well. But I use like the really big delay and the reverb to create that big open space. And when we uh, when we play, you'll kind of hear more of that. It's much easier to hear it when it's the full group.
Do you recommend any brands over others for working with violin or strings?
Um, I have the Piastro Gold strings
I'm
from
not
out.
talking about your violin strings. I'm talking
Uh,
about the the pedals. Do you
yes,
recommend
absolutely.
any brands of pedals?
Um, Electro Harmonics is my absolute favorite. Um, some pedals are worse on acoustic instruments than others, and
What would
so
you not recommend then?
I would definitely not recommend any distortion or any fuzz pedals, because the intricateness and like the beauty of the violin gets really really lost
Yeah, that's one of my
within those
experience too. Yeah.
types of effects. Um, and even the synthesizer pedal, I can use maybe 2 settings on it,
Mhm.
and the others just you lose the tone and you lose the effect. Um, but the Electro Harmonics, I have the Grand Canyon, which definitely fits our type of music and the landscape.
Absolutely.
Um, but it's essentially a really large delay pedal with built-in reverb effects, and it's a loop station as well, if you're interested in that. Um, and yeah, that's probably the number one thing that I use for the band. It just creates like that huge open space, and there's one song called Western City Nights that we play, and at the end, um, I just like there's a solo part, and at the end it just feels like whenever I play, I imagine I'm a bird soaring above like all the mesas. You know, it's like it just kind of rises to the top, and I'm sure you'll hear what I mean when we play. But um,
I, I don't know about everybody else, but I think one thing that'd be really interesting is that when you did a little demo again and you told us what pedal you're pushing. What are you doing? What are you trying to do there? What's the effect you're trying to get?
sure, sure, yeah,
I couldn't see well enough to tell which pedal was what from my view.
right, right. Yeah, I do apologize for my camera quality. It's not the best,
No, I get
but
it.
yeah, absolutely. Um, so let's see. So this one pushes through, and it's a really cool sound, especially when you're plucking. Um, let's see. I have a wah-wah pedal, which is really fun. Um, if anybody doesn't know what that sounds like, I'll play it for you real quick. So that's a really fun effect for solos and just kind of adding another tone and another sound to what you can do with the violin. Um, and that's just a mini Crybaby by Boss, I believe. Um, and then for my DI box, I have an LR Bags, which is an um, incredible DI box, and I don't know if you can see that very well, but it's just a DI box, but it has a built-in equalizer in it, so you can really customize what you want your sound to be. Um, and you having this allows you to have full control of how you sound before it goes out to the main mix and before it goes out to the audience. Um, and it's just been an incredible tool for me to use, especially when we go on tour and you're playing on a different sound system every night, and there's just so many variables that can be there um, with different electricity and different sound systems, and you just never know what's going to happen. So to have like that full control before your sound even goes out to the audience is just it's a lifesaver. So if you're looking to create an electronic sound with your acoustic instrument, I would definitely go with the LR Bags. They're built for acoustic instruments, and they just sound incredible. Um, I guess I should tell everyone when the Three Hat is playing. We're playing 3:30 and 7 p.m. on the Sandia stage, um, and that will be the Facebook Live. And those events are already up on the Albuquerque Folk Festival Facebook, so you can go set a reminder for yourself and tune into those. Um, and I'll be playing with Hal and Greg, my two bandmates, in Virgin, Utah, right next to Zion National Park. And it looks like I only have a couple minutes left. Is there any other questions from anybody?
How many CDs did you say you guys have?
We have we have five. Yes, we have five. We just recorded a live album this last summer, or yeah, about a year ago now, and it was a collaboration with the Zion Forever Project, which is a conservation group aiming to keep the park pristine and not allow as many people to come through every year, because every year the numbers grow. I think last year we had about 4 million people come through in a season, and that just takes a toll on the park. And so one of the songs on the album is called Zion Song, and that was commissioned by this group. They commissioned us to write this song for Zion National Park, and we played it live at the premiere of the brand new film about Zion, and a portion of the proceeds from that CD goes to that Zion Forever project.
That's awesome. What an honor.
Yeah, absolutely. And what what better band to write the theme song than one based in Zion, you know?
You're live. I'm live? Yep. Then I guess I have this on. I'll take it off.
I have a quick question. What was that thing you said? LR Vex? Vax?
LR Bags.
How do
Bags
you,
is spelled Baggs.
okay, thanks.
Yeah, absolutely. Um, yeah, so again, Three Hat Trio. We're playing on the Sandia stage at 3:30 p.m. and 7 p.m. So tune in to see us live and check out. I gave you a little taste of American desert music, but I promise you it's much better with all three of us.
Well, this is a fantastic workshop, Eli. You sound awesome, and it's really,
you.
everything is pretty cool, yeah. A lot of great feedback already.
Thank you so much. I really
Thank you
appreciate
so
it.
much.